Alright, we've started now. This is our first podcast about Spider-Man. First podcast about anything, really. That's Jacob Pope. That's Jacob Bass. Say hello,
That's
everyone.
Matthew.
Well, this is
Hello,
Matthew. You're
everyone.
over there. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. So let's start off. Let's talk about how we felt about the movie. We'll do non-spoilers first. How did you feel about the movie?
Non-spoiler,
Yeah, we'll
how I feel about the movie.
We'll do like a couple minutes non-spoilers. I'm sure anyone who's watching this has seen the movie.
Yeah.
If you haven't, go watch it. Obviously.
My initial reaction was, wow, that was probably the greatest movie I ever saw in my life.
Yeah.
And then
That was good.
I remembered Endgame and Infinity War existed. So it's the third best movie I've ever seen in my entire life. But that's the initial reaction, I'd say.
Okay. Joe Bass, what was your initial reaction?
Dude, I thought it was fantastic. Like, they did everything I wanted them to do. And I don't know, and it just sets up something so beautiful. I don't know. No spoilers. That's right.
No spoiler.
I don't know. It was amazing.
I can't believe they set up that Spider-Man's joining the DCEU.
My favorite part is when the Flash showed up.
Oh my god. That was insane, bro.
God.
This movie's so good. Alright, but, so, J. Poke ranked it third. I rank it third. Definitely. It was an incredible movie. I had very high expectations, and it exceeded most of them, which is pretty crazy.
All right.
Where do you rank it?
Me? I'd probably put it third as well.
Third as well. Matters
Was it the best Spider-Man movie?
Yes.
Talking to me?
I'm talking to both of you. Is it the best Spider-Man movie?
It was.
Oh, dude. It has to be.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen, I know people love Into the Spider-Verse. I know I love Homecoming. I'm not very high on Far From Home, but I mean this is better. So people love Spider-Man 2 as well, but this is also better than Spider-Man 2. This is the best. This is the best Spider-Man movie. Yes, it is.
I have to agree.
I have to agree. as well.
Great moments, dude. Like, so many highs.
All right, we're done with no spoilers. Tell me your favorite moment of the movie. Let's just hit that.
Let
Right
Jacob
away.
go first.
I don't want to go first. Man, you go first.
I'll go first then, because it shouldn't be my favorite moment of the movie, because it's kind of a dumb moment to be favorite moment of the movie, but it's the moment I keep thinking about the most. The fight scene at the end with Green Goblin and Tom Holland, specifically the moment where he shoots him in the waist with webs and jumps over him and then brings his whole body over him and like Batista bombs him, was like, I keep thinking about that and I'm like, dude, that was so cool. Like that was amazing.
For real.
But that whole fight scene where he's just like, it like unlocks a new version of Tom, where it's like he's that dude, like he can do that. Especially after earlier, I mean, he got his. I don't know if there's an explicit podcast, but he got his ass beat.
You can say anything you want.
He definitely got his ass beat.
We can
Dude, it's so
be
true.
guys.
He literally, like, this, I think this movie, like, it gave you the idea that he can handle himself now.
Yes, that's something the other movies don't. Because Vulture, he didn't really like fight Vulture at all. Mysterio, he just fought the drones in the room, which was really good. That's one of the best sequences in the movie when he uses the spider sense. But he didn't have a real hand-to-hand fight. The closest he got was on Titan with Thanos, and then in Endgame.
Right.
The fights in this movie were amazing. John Watts, I wasn't very high on Far From Home. I am now looking forward to Fantastic Four. because his directing in this was so much better. His fight scenes were so much better, and all the shots were just like the one where Tom is like sitting on that roof, just sad, and then
Yeah.
like after May died. Oh, this movie
Yeah,
has just
the scene
beautiful.
of him watching the Daily Bugle was like one of the best scenes. Like that, I almost
For
cried
real.
then. Like not right when May died, but like watching him be sad was
Yeah.
like that was perfect acting and perfect direction.
100%. Do you have any extra thoughts, Ravas?
No,
Did you say your favorite scene?
no, but I mean, good lord, it's hard to pick, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I love the fight scenes are so good. Freaking Willem Dafoe is amazing.
Yes.
Like, I never thought I'd love him. He did from the first Spider-Man movie. It's insane. Dude, the way he just sat there and he just played crazy so well. Like, that was so terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
He just took hits and just started laughing about it. And then he just, I think one of my favorites one is where he beats up Spider-Man. He just throws him through the building. I'm saying so loud. I can't speak so loud, dude. My family meals are so thin. But whenever he's just blowing him through the floors, he's just Batista bombing him, dude, through the floors. It's so crazy, dude. It's so good.
That's actually my favorite scene as well. It's just
Dude,
he just gets his butt whooped, and then the laugh as he. I'm so happy he insisted on doing his own stunts because you could. It was just
Yeah,
so good.
I think when you hear that and you hear like however old 98-year-old William Dafoe insists on doing his own stunts, you're like, it's like
66.
yeah, you're like
Older than retirement age, I think.
exactly like okay,
crazy.
how's this gonna work? And then when you see it happen, you go like, okay, he's actually brilliant.
Mm-hmm. So let's rewind it back to the beginning. We've gotten really far into the end. Let's talk about the beginning of the movie.
I
And
literally
kind
went
of,
to the end of the movie.
I mean, the end of the movie's great. And the movie's great.
Mm-hmm.
But let's rewind to the beginning and let's talk about how do you feel about how they handled the what's it called? Far From Home post credit scene and everyone knowing. The like first 40 minutes or something?
I would say if there's a weak point to the movie, it's the first 40 minutes. Like from the start to like meeting Doctor Strange was kind of slow. Like it needed to happen because they needed to set up the movie, but that was the only like if everything else in the movie is a 10 out of 10, that was like a 9.5. But
Mm-hmm.
I did like the smooth transition though, where it felt like it immediately picked up right where Far From Home left
Mm-hmm.
off.
How do you feel, Joe Bus?
Uh, I I like it started there. I like that it kind of. That was just a weird way to end that movie. The second one.
It was a
I didn't
post
know how
credit
I felt
scene
about
too.
that.
It was a post
Do
credit
what?
scene too.
Yeah, I know, right? Like that's such a big one too. I mean, it literally affects so much. And I like what they did, how they kind of undid that. But I think they took that bad situation and they did like a perfect thing with it. Like I don't think you could have done anything else with that situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean what they did with this movie is infinitely better than anything they could have done with Craven. Like,
True.
and you can like Craven's gonna get his own movie, so you can still do him without him knowing Peter Parker's identity. But this was
Mm-hmm.
like a one kind of time perfect situation.
Right.
I think the comedy in the beginning was really good. Like the teacher thinking he killed
Yeah.
Mysterio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that
really
was
good
really
one.
funny. And then
You murder.
yeah, and then the other teacher. It's crazy how characters like that one teacher. I don't know his name, but he's got the brown hair. He was pretty big in Homecoming and Far From Home. He's just in one scene in this movie. It's crazy how you can have a decent sized role and then just get one scene. But I mean,
Yeah, I
I'm
think that
glad it was only one
purview
scene.
works perfectly. Like if they gave him more than 5 minutes, then you're
Yeah.
taking away time from
Time from the
time from
stuff we
Jamie
actually
Foxx.
care about. Jamie Foxx was really good.
He was
He
amazing.
was, dude.
We'll talk about him later, though. We'll talk about him later. And then yeah, I mean the scene with the whole scene after everyone finds out, and they're just like, "Did you kill Mysterio?" And they're just like overwhelming him.
Hmm.
That it was just so good. The swinging, the what, or dude, whatever him and Ned said to each other. That was just it was perfect. And how
Yeah.
crazy does this movie is so packed that something like Daredevil being introduced is just kind of swept under. There's a
It's
couple
almost
things.
forgettable. It's
Yes.
almost forgettable.
For
Almost
real,
forget
dude.
that it happened.
You want to know something that is forgettable? Something I don't even know if you probably even thought about, but it's a really big deal. Wong is Sorcerer Supreme. That was just like
Yeah. Yeah.
they just
Yeah.
mentioned that.
I think I remembered that yesterday. I was thinking about it, and I was like, I wonder what impact that's gonna have on Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he's allowed to do certain things or not allowed to do certain things, or which that's getting into the post credit scene. We'll probably get on that later. But I'm interested in how that happened, how that works out.
It's just crazy. Something so big can just snap a finger, be mentioned, never talked about again. When that probably will affect pretty big.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about Daredevil. Oh my
Dude.
goodness.
Shout out my guy Charlie.
You know,
He deserves it.
He really does. He really does, because that show was so great, and now he's in the MCU, etching bricks,
Dude, that scene was
being the
amazing.
guy.
with the Hawkeye thing being announced, I was like watching scenes from the show again,
Mhm.
and then the acting in that show was so good from both of them. It's like I kind of forgot how good. I mean, this is spoiler for Hawkeye, but I'm sure if you're watching this, you've seen Hawkeye. I mean, Kingpin's
Freaking
coming
hope
back.
so.
Kingpin's coming back, and then Daredevil's coming back. Like the scenes of both of them in that show are so good. I watched the season 2 scene where Kingpin just slams him into the table.
I saw that too.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
That was so good. I am so excited. There's so much they can do because he can be an Echo. He could be in Spider-Man since, due to the ending, he's kind of a street level hero again. I don't think he'll be going to space for a couple years.
Yeah.
You think he's gonna be more of a Disney Plus guy or more of a movie guy? Charlie
Tom?
Cox. Daredevil.
Oh, Charlie Cox? Probably.
He'll definitely be an Echo. He's gotta be an Echo.
Yeah, he'll be an Echo.
You think he'll be in Hawkeye? The series.
No, I don't think
finale?
he will. Sadly,
Is
I
it
think
series or season?
series. I mean,
Depends on if they do something with.
yeah, it depends.
Hey.
Yeah, we'll have to see about that. Oh, hopefully we get more of that. But I think it'll probably be primarily Disney Plus for now.
But he'll be in the Avengers movie.
Yeah,
The next big.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
He'll be in.
There were a lot of rumors he was in She-Hulk. He plays a pretty big role in She-Hulk, which is really exciting. I don't want to talk about those in case those end up being spoilers. So for She-Hulk, but She-Hulk hype, bro. Oh my gosh.
I'll let you live on that train.
Oh, I will ride that train all the way. Excuse me, till the end. But yeah, Daredevil was great. Any other thoughts about that?
I think that sums it up.
Yeah. All right, so let's. How do we all feel about the spell itself? Peter not even calling the school. and everything leading up to that.
I think I think what it does well is like highlights that he's young and like
He's just a dude.
stupid. Like he's just young and stupid because like when you're watching it, you're like, wow, this guy's so stupid. But then like if I'm thinking about myself, I'm gonna be like, oh, I bet Doctor Strange could just solve all my problems. Let me go
Hmm.
talk to him real quick instead of like just doing the bare minimum.
Right.
Hmm.
It makes sense.
Do you have any thoughts, Chavez?
Definitely a maturing movie
Oh yeah.
because he's very different from beginning to end. Um, and that's fair. I guess it's a fair criticism. I think that's a little dumb, but it's. I mean,
I
I'm.
mean,
If you can buy it, you can buy it. That was
it's kind of crazy. The
whole trilogy is an origin story.
dude. I know, right?
Like this
I,
trilogy,
I saw that.
like Captain America, like that's the trilogy. Like Thor,
Hmm.
that would have been a trilogy. Iron Man's a trilogy, but this is just an origin story. It's not even as long as Tom
Honestly,
doesn't give up, he's gonna be in so much for so long, and like it's really just an origin.
Does he have a contract for more movies?
Yeah, he does.
Well, I know he's got the two Sony movies. Does he have contracts for more Marvel movies?
I assume so. I mean, they said they're starting development on Spider-Man 4, so I assume
Yeah.
he's contracted.
Because I thought it was like a 6 movie or something like that contract that he
It
signed.
was, but then they renegotiated it when he got taken out because the whole thing with that was like, remember he got taken out because
Mhm.
Disney wanted to renegotiate the contract.
Okay.
So I don't think we know the updated details of that, but I'm sure he has more. I don't think he's
Yeah.
gonna quit. Everyone's like he's done. He's
Well, yeah.
Tom, chill out, bro. Chill out. Your fan.
Yeah, you can't jump out of a window and web sling at the end of 3 and then be like, I'm not gonna come back in 4.
No. Yeah.
I think if they thought he was done, they wouldn't have set it up like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Alright, but now we transition into the bridge scene. We start getting some multiversal characters. We get Ock. How do we feel about the bridge scene?
It was a
I'll
great
take it
fight.
back.
It took me back to 2 when I rewatched 2. Dude, that fight scene in 2 is still really good, and this one is really, really good as well. Just like going back and fighting each other. I think that's another thing this movie did really good, like the back and fighting, like using his abilities to like counter. It's so good.
Yeah, the fact that he like has like it shows like the impact that Tony Stark had on him because like he already had like just technology to like instantly beat Doc Ock.
Oh yeah,
Like it was kind of funny, but he also he saved the teacher lady the same way that Andrew saved somebody in the
It
Amazing
was the
Spider-Man.
kid and the
Yeah,
dad.
yeah, yeah. So I thought that was cool. It was a little
It was.
teaser for the future.
I could not help but, bro, the moment that I just smiled the whole sequence. It was so good. Alfred Molina. I mean, literally everyone just jumped right back in their role in this movie. It was like there's no adjusting period. It was just that he was just
Yeah,
instantly Spider-Man 2 Doc Ock again.
and really good at it. Like,
Yes. Like you can feel him being mad, annoyed. You and
yeah.
like the confusion when he's like, "You're not Peter Parker." You can see the
Mhm.
confusion on his face.
Yeah.
And his arms are really stretchy. They go so far.
Docs.
Yeah,
Doc Ock.
they just go so far. They're like
they're really
slingshot
good.
arms. But yeah,
I can't say I noticed that, but that's funny.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, he did beat him instantly. But
Oh, he didn't beat him instantly, but like compared to like
once he figured
a
it
whole
out,
movie.
yeah.
Exactly.
The
Exactly.
MCU's a lot more advanced than the Raimi verse.
How far has technology come, you know?
Yeah.
True.
All right. So
I saw a good press conference with Tom Holland talking about Alfred Molina and how like when he first started, like the first time he said Peter, he was like, "Oh, that's not how I said Peter." And then he just sat there like and he kept saying Peter until he figured out like how he did 20 years ago or 15 years ago, however long it was.
I mean that's just good acting then, trying to put yourself into the role.
Exactly.
All right. So let's head to the so he catches Ock, and then
Mhm.
they're in the room with Doctor Strange. How do we feel about all that? He's already caught Lizard.
Yeah,
Or wait, we didn't even mention Green Goblin shows up, and then they just they get poofed.
Yeah, they do.
yeah. I heard you audibly go in the theater. You went, "Oh, come on."
I was so ready to see it. He had his costume on. I wish you'd have gotten to see more of it. I like his little mechanical mask. I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Was that a complaint about the older Spider-Man movies? They didn't like that costume. Is that why they got rid of it?
That is a complaint. Some
Okay.
people do not like his costume. Excuse me, but I like it.
I think we like it for nostalgia. Like we see the like. I mean, that's what we saw when we were
Yeah.
kids. So
I mean I love it. I freaking love it.
I
One
do too.
day I might get that mask and hang it up somewhere. Be
I look
fire.
forward to seeing that.
Be fire. I want some
Podcast number 2, you'll be wearing the mask.
I want some pumpkin bombs. That's something I like legit am gonna get as a decoration one day. I love his pumpkin bomb. Pumpkin
Yeah, they are
bombs.
pretty cool. Especially if you could find some that like light up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's on the internet.
Yeah, it is. I've looked at them. They're just a good bit of money. Like, let me pumpkin bomb. Let's see. It's $100.
Yeah.
Woo.
Well,
I'm gonna have to wait on that one.
future $100 having self will
I will
buy pumpkin bombs.
I will have that one day. A Willem Dafoe pumpkin bomb. But but yeah, that was really good. I love his laugh. We'll talk more about Willem Dafoe later though.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we go from there to Doctor Strange's scene. They're in the cage. Lizard is already trapped. Good job, Lizard.
Good job, Lizard. What's the going into that scene? What do you think the insistence? Like, why do you think Tom was like, "I need help"? Like, is it just to get uh Ned and MJ more screen time? Like, is that the
That
purpose of
that's
like
that's
him?
probably what it is. And then it, I mean, the real reason is just to give more of a connection to him because of the
Yeah.
ending and because it's
Mhm.
probably won't see him as much. But I'm assuming the movie reason is he just wants his guy in the chair and
Yeah.
he thinks he needs help, but he didn't really need their help. But
Well, considering he
they could,
instantly lost their help,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, so how do we feel about how do we feel we didn't get a lizard catching scene?
I'm
The
okay with
best
it.
villain.
Best villain.
I think he was the most short-handed of all. Well, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean he wasn't that good in Amazing Spider-Man anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, the lizard in theory, Kirk Connors is supposed to be like it should be like 90s Spider-Man does it really good where it's like really emotional and it's like he has a family and he just wants to have an arm. But
Mm.
Amazing Spider-Man, they completely devolve him into a mad scientist,
Hmm.
and so he wasn't like I didn't like him in Amazing Spider-Man, and then he's even kind of even more devolved here, which is fine because he was just there, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so how do we all feel about this? The first room scene where they all talk.
Is good. There's some good acting moments in that too.
Mm-hmm.
I think Alfred Molina kind of carried until William Dafoe showed up.
Mm-hmm. J-Bass?
Yeah. I think when you get all the villains together, it was pretty good villain chemistry. But yeah, some stood out more than others, definitely.
Yeah. So I haven't seen anyone mention this, but I do want to point out a continuity error here.
Right.
So, Otto is like, that was Norman Osborn who was laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, his death was all over the news. The issue with this is, the whole plot of Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3 is James Franco thinks Spider-Man killed Norman, and they didn't know Norman was the Green Goblin. And Harry is like,
Yeah.
you killed my father. And so
Yeah.
how do you know, Doc Ock, that Norman is the Green Goblin? You especially with the mask on. That's a
True.
that's like
Yeah.
a
How
big,
did he know?
and
Number one.
I have not seen anyone mention that except me.
That's true.
But that is a really big continuity error because
Yeah.
Otto should not know that, because that was purposely, like, at the end of Spider-Man 1, whenever Toby lays Norman across the couch, Norman is not wearing his goblin costume specifically to, like, stave that away from Harry, because
Right.
when Norman dies, Norman's like, don't tell Harry. And Toby actually takes off the costume, and nobody knows it was Norman. And if they would have known, Oscorp would have got seized from Harry, probably, and been under investigation because he murdered the whole board of directors. So, there's no way Otto should have known that. That is one continuity error that I've not seen anyone mention.
Yeah. And also, Otto knew that he died from his glider.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't
Mm.
public knowledge at all.
Yeah.
I did not
very
notice
true.
that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that during the movie, and then I was like, But yeah, any other thoughts about this whole scene? I mean, we got the joke that everyone was so mad about, the making fun of Otto's name. Do we have
Yeah.
any
We're
quarrels
not
with
that.
that?
Why were people mad about that?
They're just like, you're making a joke out of Spider-Man villains, and then
What's this?
I mean, he has a villain name, so what? I mean, I don't know. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I didn't get it either, because it's like, literally, they make fun of Spider-Sense and call it a Peter Tingle, and
Yeah.
nobody cared but Far From Home.
Also, they
Why-
made like
Yeah.
that's like that's. I thought it was like even more funny if you really think about it, because Peter already has made fun of Doctor Strange's name.
Mhm.
So it's like they're just like selling into the bit a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know why people
Right.
made such a big deal out of that when the trailer came out. I thought it was fine. It was a good scene. I thought it was really funny them Ned being so impressed with the basement at first. He's like,
Yeah.
That was great.
it's just the basement, Ned.
Yeah. That is funny.
But yeah, any other thoughts about any of that?
No.
No. Okay. So from there we move into the Sandman and the Electro fight. Thoughts?
As a self confession here of somebody that never watched the Amazing Spider-Man movies, I thought it was a good introduction to Electro because I'd never seen him before, and from what I understand, I didn't miss a lot. That's why I never watched those movies. So, yeah, I thought it was a good introduction. I liked how Sandman started out as a good guy.
Yeah,
Helping
he
Spider-Man.
was a good guy at the end of Spider-Man 3. Just
Yeah,
see his
yeah.
daughter.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm glad they have character consistency there. With
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's weird that because in Spider-Man 3 he could like look like a human. I thought that was a little off-putting, but it's not that big of a deal. That he
Yeah.
was just Sam the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well, did they do that for a reason? Is that just because of comic book stuff?
I think they just did it that way the audience would know better at the end that it's
Oh.
like he's been cured.
Oh.
I don't
Okay.
think there's any other reason because it wasn't like that in Spider-Man 3. And then in the
Right.
comic book, he can like look like a human too. I'm pretty sure.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was just a little weird. But yeah, I mean, Flint's actor did a great job. I don't remember his name. I'll tell you. He's like the only actor I don't remember. I remember Lizard's is like Reese Ifan, but I don't remember Flint's. But he did a really good job. I love his voice. Looks and sounds like I like that he uses his phone. But yeah, was Electro and Spider-Man. His personality is a lot different. Other than a couple,
Yeah, it is.
other than like a couple, like he's like I can be anyone I want here.
Right.
He's a lot different, which is a good thing because I did not like him in Spider-Man 2. Gene Fox is a good actor, but he
Yeah.
was not good.
Really shows how a bad movie can. Doesn't matter if good actors in it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't give them nothing to go on, man. They're gonna be bad. Because he was so much better in this one, dude.
Yes, he was, and he was funny
And
too.
even the character, yeah, he was funny. I don't know. He was so not the same at all. Because the other guy was just lame, and he was like really awkward. This guy was like, I don't know,
This guy was
normal.
Jamie Foxx. I
Yeah.
feel like if you take Jamie
Yeah,
Foxx
like
away
he's
from
just
being able to be Jamie Foxx, it takes like it ruins his whole persona. If you're like, you know, you're a really cool guy, you do everything well, you can sing, you can act, you can rap. Now we're gonna make you a nerd.
And it's
yeah.
weird because Electro is really cocky in the comics. I don't know why Amazing Spider-Man 2 made him like I'm a villain because you forgot my birthday.
That's so dumb.
That movie was terrible. That movie was so bad.
And they did a good job of him being like he feels different power in this. So they
Yeah,
even gave him a reason to like be a different character in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Of like not just like the nerd weirdo. He's like, I feel a different power here. Like I can really do some stuff now.
Jebas, I have a question.
hmm
Whose Green Goblin is better, Willem Dafoe or the Amazing Spider-Man 2 Goblin?
definitely Willem Dafoe. The other guy, dude, that was just awkward and weird. And when they first see each other, it's like I didn't think they were gonna be friends, and then like they're like, "Oh my God, Peter! Oh my God, Harry!" Oh, and it's like this weird moment. It's like, what the heck is going on?
I
These
always,
people know each other?
I always hate when movies like do that in sequels, and it's like I
Yeah,
knew you the whole time. It's like you
yeah,
build up a relationship. The audience can't connect if you fake your relationship.
yeah.
But
Really
this
weird.
isn't supposed to be an Amazing Spider-Man 2 trash podcast. I shouldn't have said that, even though that movie sucks. But yeah,
it,
let's.
it's fair because we're talking about a really good movie. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the quarrels of the past. Those were bad.
I'll say something good though. I think this movie or No Way Home kind of redeems that. Not that movie. Like it doesn't make the movie good, but like I don't know. I liked Andrew Garfield
Do you think it?
Spider-Man way
I
more.
was about to say, do you think it redeemed Andrew?
Definitely, definitely. And I kind of feel bad for him. I saw something that said that he was a really big Spider-Man fan,
Oh yeah,
which is sad.
he's a massive Spider-Man fan. Like when he got the role, there's
hmm
like whenever he's announced, I think is at Comic Con. It might not have been when it's announced, but it's like before Amazing Spider-Man 1, he gives a whole speech about how he read the comic so much as a kid and how he's so
hmm
excited to do the character justice. And it's a really nice speech. Like,
Mhm.
I don't hate Andrew. I think Andrew Garfield's a good actor, but I did
Oh
not
yeah.
like his Peter Parker in Amazing Spider-Man 1 was mean, and he shouldn't be that mean. And
Yeah, I didn't like it.
even in Amazing Spider-Man 2, but in this movie, I think he was actually good. And there's a lot of like people going back and saying how much they loved his Peter Parker now, even though he was kind of mostly hated before this movie came out.
Yeah, there's a lot of revisionist history with that.
There is revisionist history.
Yeah.
I feel, and I think he's really good in this movie. And he's probably one of the best actors in this movie, honestly.
Definitely.
But
He really is.
it doesn't change how I felt about him in the other movies. I would like to see more of him in the future, 100%. But
Yeah.
Mhm.
let's just get some good writers. Let's not make him rude. And like
Yeah.
especially with him talking, like it sounds really interesting. He's like, I stopped holding my punches. That sounds like that could be a really interesting story. Like
Yeah, I agree.
depressed Spider-Man. Like, and you could
Like filled with rage, Spider-Man.
yes,
Mhm.
yes. Even without the black suit too. Like, imagine
Yeah.
if you gave
Yeah.
that version the black suit and you like see
Yeah.
how his universe is doing. That'd be really interesting. But we'll
That'd be a
talk.
Right.
cool short series, Disney Plus short
It would.
series.
It would. Too bad I don't think Sony would let that happen. Because there's a.
Probably
So
not.
Spider-Man can be in movies, but there's a thing in the contract where he's only allowed to be in like short episodes of TV series. Like he can't. I don't know if that'll be changed because I think Tom will end up being in a Disney Plus series, but as of right now, I'm pretty sure I read that there's like a minutes restriction on it, which is like the What If episode was
Mhm.
short. So I hope that gets changed if that's real.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
But
Hey, Disney just needs to buy out that contract. Like, if it's like $1 billion, they just need to pay the $1 billion so they can just do whatever they want whenever they want.
I mean, I wish they would, but I don't think Sony's gonna sell because I mean that's
Yeah.
Spider-Man. That IP's making them so much
It's an
money.
invaluable contract.
It is because they're making all the money from Venom. They're gonna make it the money from Morbius. Then
Yep.
the Craven movie, whatever they do with that. The Madam Web movie, if that ever comes out, and obviously the Spider-Man movies, that which No Way Home is the third biggest domestic box office opening, even
Yep.
in the middle of the pandemic, which is
Yep.
kind of
That's
insane
crazy.
because Corona's kind of
Ramping up.
yeah.
Destroyed movies.
Yeah, yes, it
Shout out to
destroyed
Amanda.
movies.
She watches this podcast.
Shout out to Amanda. But
Oh yeah.
it's insane that it's the third highest. So I don't. I wish Sony would sell them all the rights, but I don't think they're going to.
They won't.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, tell me your whole thoughts on the fight scene and everything at the power line.
It was good.
Thoughts there.
It's good. I'd say out of the fight scenes, it wasn't the best, but I mean it was good.
Yeah, it was a decent fight scene. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Rip to
now-
anybody that needed that power.
Yeah.
They-
I
Blackout.
was thinking about that too. I was like, he just caused a power outage for like probably half the state of New York just then.
Yeah,
But
he did.
So now we move in. All the villains are all captured except Norman. But then Norman decides to pop up at Feast. Oof. The acting here is great. I mean, we have him destroy his helmet, which makes me kind of sad.
R.I.P.
It's okay. And then he was actually being Norman Osborn because you can tell that whenever Goblin just activates back later on, that's when the
Yeah.
ramps up because
Yeah.
you could like he instantly knew it was Goblin, so you
Mhm.
know it was Norman here, and then I think he was really good. I'm sad there's no Oscorp in the MCU as of right now. But I want the MCU to do their own Norman Osborn.
They gotta.
We'll talk about that more later, because we're gonna have a long question about the future. So we'll talk about. But how do we feel about this scene with Defoe and Aunt May?
It was good. It shows like one, it did a good job of like showing Norman, Norman, not Goblin Norman, and then it did a good job of showing Aunt May being like, it was a great introduction to the Aunt May arc of this movie.
Oh yeah, it was, and she was being helpful. Just like, we gotta help him. He's just a guy. What if you can help him?
Yeah.
You see, I heard people complain about that, but I like that because it was true. It's a hero thing. You just try to help him.
What were the complaints?
I don't know. People were saying like, it's just dumb. Why would he do that? Like, what? What do you mean? Why would he do that? He's a freaking superhero.
Yeah.
He's gonna try to help him. He helps to help everybody.
Yeah.
It's like freaking Batman in the animated series. Like he still cares about people, the villains. Like he calls them by their names.
Yeah, it's kind of lost on modern media, but Batman is very caring. Like he sat there in the animated or Justice League animated. He sat down with a girl while she dies. Like,
Literally.
in comics, he's always helping kids. It's just kind of forgotten about because Batman's most motivations of Batman's are just he's just pure.
I'm so dark.
Pure hate.
I'm so dark. I'm only dark.
But
Yeah.
that's
So sad and
not
dark.
who Batman is, and his character kind of gets misunderstood because Batman's actually really caring. But yeah, I mean, Norman's sitting there, he's crying. You know it's Norman because the spider sense isn't going off. I mean, what's Tom's Peter gonna do? He's too bad. You're sitting here. You have multiple personality disorder. You're asking for help. I'm just going to send you home.
Yeah. I think I've seen a lot of people say it's stupid that it's a complaint about this movie because it can be said about like every superhero movie or like any hero's journey movie. It's like, Peter Parker's so stupid. Everything that happened in this movie is his fault. It's like that's the whole purpose of this movie. But
the purpose of movies is for a character to grow and make mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. Like learn from them.
Yeah, and it's good. It's okay if the mistakes are in character. Like Infinity War.
Yeah.
Quill going crazy on Thanos was perfectly in character, because even it was really annoying that he did that.
Yeah.
But it was in character because they set that up in Guardians 1 and 2. Whenever in 2 he shoots his dad, and in 1 they also set that up. But yeah, I don't.
He's kind of impulsive, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so like if you do something in character, that's part of the character.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, Defoe's acting in this scene was great. Sad, no Harry, no Norman. Or he didn't say no Harry. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, from here we go. Norman they bring Norman in, and he's just kind of looking around. He's admiring everyone, and then MJ and Ned are kind of like scared. They're like, "Bro, he's scary."
Yeah.
He looks scary, yeah.
Yeah, he does.
It looks like a strung out homeless man, like who's like,
he does.
I can save everybody. Don't worry, I'm a doctor.
I'm somewhat of a scientist myself.
I love that.
Yeah, that was
very
beautiful.
good.
This movie was very self-aware with the comedy.
It really was.
But yeah, give me all your thoughts on the scene where everyone's like in the room, and then which ends up with a fight with Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange wants to teleport him off. Just whole thoughts on everything that happened there, which is.
I think it's believable. It's believable that he wants to help him because I mean, like he doesn't know them, He just like, and he probably feels bad. He's like, oh, I'm just gonna go send them to die. It's not all of them, but it's like most of them. You know?
And they're all kind of chilling and talking too. Like
Yeah, they're not doing nothing crazy.
Yeah, Norman's sitting there scared. He's like, Peter, don't do this, please. And then,
Yeah.
like, Lizard's not going crazy. Sandman's just like, I want to see my daughter.
Yeah.
Like these people don't seem that. Doc Ock seems mean because
Yeah.
he's a little mean. But Electro, he's just kind of being a chill dude. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah, Peter don't want to kill these guys.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense, especially because he just had the conversation with May too.
Oh yeah. So how do we feel about the fight with Doctor Strange?
Dude, that was such a good scene.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's so good. That was I think it was one of the few times he stood up for himself. He figured it out. You know, I know he was kind of going easy on him. He wasn't trying to hurt him, but still, he's outsmarted him. He outsmarted magic with math.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I feel
Also, I liked how you could see the Spidey sense when he got knocked dead into the.
yes, that I
Yeah, that's
know
pretty cool.
I noticed that.
Yeah,
I was like, this is such a nice touch.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is so powerful.
he really is. He's crazy.
Yeah, he's so strong. He knows things. Like he's just.
It really highlighted how much of a genius he is in this movie too.
Mhm.
I appreciated that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. A lot of the criticisms of MCU, Peter, were just handled in this movie. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
he did the math, and especially at the end, he's about to be on his own. He stood up for himself. Like he was not Iron Boy Junior in this movie, as people like to say.
Iron Lad.
Yeah, Iron
Yeah.
Lad Junior. It's ridiculous. Fight scene was really good. You know, the mirror dimension, it looks just as good as it did before.
Mhm.
I mean, what can you say other than John Watts is a really good director now?
For
Honestly.
real though.
Himself.
So, do you think John Watts did the end credit scene with a purpose, or do you think he was like, "Oh shit"?
I mean, I
I mean, like the Far From Home one. Sorry.
Far From Home one.
Yeah.
I think they did it, and they're just gonna see where it went.
Well, went pretty well.
Yeah, it went pretty well. I would like, honestly, I'm really interested in like knowing the process behind that. Like when they make these end credit scenes, like how much of that is planned? Because I mean, this
Yeah.
almost didn't happen. Excuse me.
Right.
If like Toby wouldn't have signed, because he was the last one to hold out, because he wanted a lot for this.
Really.
Yeah, he's a bit of a diva,
Yeah.
but he was good in the movie. So, and the movie's doing really well, so he's worth every penny they paid him, I guess. And I hope
True.
he comes back.
Good.
They might need to DH him if he comes back though. It's a
He
kind
did.
Yeah, it looked a little rough.
It's a really
Washed up.
curious decision to not DH him for this movie when they kind of DH to DH sometimes.
Yeah.
But
I think it was to highlight how. I think they wanted to show how old he was.
yeah,
Because it's been 20 years since, right? Since the first one came out?
It's been 20 years since the first one. Yeah, it's been 14 since Spider-Man 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But
You
yeah,
lagged, so I missed something. You laughed right before you.
I said, which is crazy to say.
Oh, it is crazy. So
So from here we go. Peter beats Doctor Strange.
yes,
And then he rounds up all the villains, and then he takes them. He tells them, "Hey, you gotta be good." And then he's like, "I'm gonna cure all of you." And Norman's like, "I'm a scientist. I'll help you." And
yeah, they go to Happy's.
they go to Happy's. I thought we didn't even talk about that in the beginning. I thought it was funny. They broke up, and then he
Yeah,
slams
well,
it
yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Happy's a good guy,
It
Happy is a
really
good
is.
guy. Shout out to Happy. Let's
but
give Happy.
because he thought they were dating. May slams the door in his face, and May kicks him out of his room, but he still lets him stay there. He's a good fella.
Yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out to
He
Happy.
really cared about her, even though they didn't actually date officially. But yeah, they take over his apartment. So, what's everyone's thoughts about all that?
Well, Happy's a good guy. Let him stay there. So
We
we'll
got
give
a
Happy
nice
his
ass
credit.
apartment.
Yeah, he
He
does.
did.
I'm
Shout out
sure.
to the Knicks. Had some Knicks memorabilia in there.
Yeah.
I hate the Knicks. But
Poor Happy.
I mean, he was the head of security at Stark. So another
Yeah.
thing that's kind of brushed under the rug. Stark is like being heavily investigated. Like, I wonder how much of their assets are like being seized and stuff, and what that means
yeah,
for like Armor Wars and Ironheart. That's another thing that they just kind of just mentioned casually,
true.
cause they showed like Am I mistaken, or did they show like government trucks taking stuff from Stark?
No, they did. They did. Yeah.
Like that's a really big thing, especially if you're Armor Wars.
Yeah, that was just like a news scene, like a randomly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So okay. So skipping, I don't want to skip too far. Sorry, but like, okay, the spell that I'm gonna say quietly that erases everybody's memory of Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that they don't care about the Mysterio thing anymore, or they're just like they just don't? Are they investigating who killed him?
I don't know. I honestly, that's gonna be really weird to see how they tackle that. Cause like, there's physical. Like, Flash wrote a book. There's digital interviews.
Yeah. Well, and like
Newspapers. It's
Zendaya's wearing like the necklace that Peter gave her at the end of the
yeah,
movie.
and
So I wonder if like some of that stuff is like, oh, like Spider-Man gave, like,
mm-hmm.
or I mean, for Flash that's easily write-offable because it's like Flash is just an idiot.
But he probably directly mentions Peter's name in it, and he's like, Peter is Spider-Man, and
Yeah,
everybody's gonna have the book.
yeah, that's true.
Interesting.
But I don't know how they're gonna handle that. I'm actually really interested to see that. They might just kind of
Yeah.
do a thing where it's like, don't think about it too much.
Yeah,
It makes
Probably.
sense.
I bet they.
I think that's
I've already thought about it too much.
yeah. I think that's
Yeah.
probably what they're gonna do. It's just like, don't think about it too hard, guys. Kind
Yeah.
of like what they did with the blip, with everyone reappearing, and people were like, well, what if they were in an airplane?
Yeah,
What happened if they were in a car? Marvel's just
Yeah.
kind of like, don't think about it too much. I'm sure
Rip.
when Bruce snapped his fingers, he thought about all those people being safe.
yeah.
So I think that's probably they're gonna end up doing, but it is weird.
Back to the
Apartments.
initial apartment scene. It was good. I liked how they're he was helping him. I think they might have, or Norman was helping him. I think they might have set up a little bit the Oscorp. There's gonna be Oscorp in the MCU. I think they set up that a little bit when he was like, "Well, if you ever need a job in the future," I think that'll be
Yeah.
a cool little thing that happens.
He did say go to another reality though.
He did, but I
It
still,
was just a reference. I don't think it was anything crazy, but it was a nice thing.
Yeah.
Like the Miles Morales.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
That was
Just
a
a,
funny joke. I'd like to
yeah.
think Spider-Man would be black.
Yeah.
That was a funny joke. I remember there was like a rumor that there's gonna be a Big Miles tease in this movie. It obviously didn't come to fruition. I wonder how much they really cut. Like the Morgan Stark actor from Endgame, she like made a post
Mhm.
about how she got cut from the movie.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, and she's like, they cut my part, and I'm
Huh.
like, where would you have been in the movie? I would have been interested to see that. I'm excited to see like the extended scenes and bonus scenes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But But yeah, the whole thing is good. Sam, they just let lizards stay in the van.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me. I was confused about
He was
that.
really,
He was really sidelined in the movie.
And Marvel was like, we
yeah,
don't want to have to pay like this much CGI money to do
Yeah.
Lizard like walking around this apartment, so we'll just leave him in the van.
Just make him feel human for a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I mean, how expensive is Rezifon? I mean, what's he been in? Says his most famous movie is Notting Hill and Amazing Spider-Man. Like, I
Gonna be
think
too
I think
expensive.
they could have paid more. I don't, because they did kind of reduce his character. They had like an arc for all the people. I don't know what his arc would have been, so that's probably why he was a bit sidelined.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because they didn't know how to like give him closure or something.
That's fine. There's a lot going on in the movie.
Yeah, there was. I mean, I didn't like that version of Kurt Connors anyway because they devolved him into a mad scientist rather than being like emotional and stuff and more of a good person. I would have been really interested in the Raimi Kurt Connors that they set up in 2 and 3 because he was good and he helped Peter out with the symbiote, but that didn't happen obviously.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, Sandman sitting on a couch getting sand everywhere. That was funny.
Yeah.
That was funny. Electro getting the power drained. Let's talk about some acting here. Alfred Molina getting that chip installed, and then just being good again. That was really
Yeah.
good acting. You can
That was
just
really good acting.
instantly sense the change.
Yeah.
It's like, what? It makes you think. Why didn't Toby try and do that in Spider-Man 2?
It
Maybe
does
he didn't
make
have the
me think
tech,
of that.
bro.
That is also true.
I
That
mean,
is also true.
they had the tech to make the chip.
True.
Toby,
Well,
don't.
dude, remember
He wasn't a programmer, bro. He wasn't a programmer.
he was in his existential crisis phase. You know, he didn't have
He
time.
did retire for a bit. He did have
Yeah.
a block. But I'm not gonna hate on Spider-Man 2. I love that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the whole apartment scene was really good. Am I missing anything big here? Well, I mean, give me your thoughts, everyone. On
No, it's a good scene. I mean, we're setting up the Norman turn.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I guess
Yeah.
that's the next. I'm assuming that's the next topic.
That's the next step is Norman just
Yeah.
Goblin ain't ready to die, and then
For real.
my favorite scene in the movie is just that fight scene, and he just laughs as he can. It's just, as you said earlier, it's just so powerful.
Dude, yes.
And the initial like how the spider sense is like sets it up too, because you're like I don't know what I was expecting when that was happening. I was just like locked in, but it makes so much sense where it's like Peter's like literally like feeling that evil, like immediately feeling that evil.
Dude, it was strong too.
Yeah.
I mean, Green Goblin. Ugh.
Yeah, and then just that whole and then the fight scene is just so good. And then May like still trying to help.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
good.
she still tried to help through all of it.
I know.
So we can. Are there any other thoughts on the fight scene or anything?
We covered that pretty good in the beginning.
Yeah, we did. Any other thoughts, Jay?
Yeah.
So
I'm good.
let's just head into Aunt May and her death. How did we feel about this?
Oh, dude. R.I.P. to May. It was good. It's weird. It's cool that like May was Ben in this movie, basically. They've really set her up. We never got to see Uncle Ben in this movie, so it's cool that they still had that like scene.
He didn't even have a grave.
It is true that like this is it's like the trilogy is his
Origin.
Is his origin story, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, he killed her with the glider the same way he died from the glider by getting hit by it and or stabbed with it. So, like, he knew that was gonna kill her. Goblin did.
Well, the hit, like, I
Dude, she's
remember
tough.
you audibly gasped, Jacob Bass, whenever
Did I?
yes, you went.
Dude, because that's a rough hit. And then she
Dude.
got up. She got up, dude. That was
Yeah.
crazy. I was like, what the fuck?
So
Sorry, I'm trying to be quiet.
what are all your thoughts on the scene, or do you not want to?
I can be quiet. Dude, it was crazy. Like I don't know. I thought they were gonna fake it out. I'm glad they didn't, because that would have been just weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It was emotional. I didn't cry or nothing. I didn't get really sad until, like Jacob said, when it was the after scene where it's like him watching the board, the screen about them talking about it. Because I thought it was really bad for him. But I did really like that they did the with great power comes great responsibility thing. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, applause in the theater for that.
Yeah, dude.
This was the most applause I've ever been a part of in a movie.
Yeah, me too. I think they overdid it sometimes,
I do
but
too.
I don't know. I didn't mind it that much.
The people
I
the people
liked it.
next to me were like, one of the guys. It was like after. I mean, it was like the sixth applause, and he was like, "Man, these people really applaud for everything."
Yeah, the theater top. They made a funny joke whenever. So the theater made a funny joke. Someone like down a couple rows. Whenever Norman was talking about he's like in my son, and then someone in the comment or someone made a comment. I don't know if y'all heard, and they went, "Is it child molester?" And then everyone down there burst laughing. I don't know if y'all heard that.
I did not
Is he
hear that.
really?
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was
Like
a
the
girl.
actor?
No, just someone in the audience, and then a bunch of people
crazy.
down
Oh.
there started laughing. I'm like,
I heard people laughing. I didn't hear what they said.
that's what she said, because Norman
Wow.
goes, "And my son," and then he just shakes his head, and then the person is like, "It's a child molester."
My God.
So everyone down there just started laughing. So the theater was talkative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do y'all have any more thoughts about Amy?
No. I mean, she did a great job throughout all the movies. I had respect to her.
So I think in Homecoming and Far From Home, I think she was a little. She didn't have a moment. She was just kind of there. She was just
That was very true.
yeah, like let's compare it to like Toby's Aunt May, Rosemary Harris.
Sure.
She had
Sure.
a moment in every movie. In Spider-Man 2, it's the Peter sits down with her, and it's like, "I killed Uncle Ben," and then she just walks off. And then they have
Right.
that talk later when she's moving, and it's like, "There's a hero in everyone, Peter." And it's like the boy,
Right.
because he's retired. And then Spider-Man 3 is like, she's talking about him marrying MJ. There was something in Spider-Man 1, I don't remember off the top of my head. But she had scenes like in every movie, and she was really good in every movie. She beat Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2. She was like hitting him with a cane, and
Yes, he did.
but Marissa Tomei in Spider-Man Homecoming and Far From Home, she's just there. I mean, she made a. I remember in Far From or Homecoming, she made like a I LARP you joke. Like that's like the extent
Yeah.
of it was your aunt's hot. Happy likes your aunt. She didn't
True.
really have any
So
moments.
does Tony.
Yeah, so does Tony in Civil War.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
not home. In No Way Home, they actually made her a really.
I lost you, Matthew.
Can you remember?
I cannot hear you. I can
Yeah.
hear you now.
Okay.
We're back.
Okay, I will edit that out. I will edit that out.
Cool.
Okay.
I set the. Let me write that down. 1 hour 5 mark. Oh, I'm just gonna edit it
We've
all.
been talking for an hour.
Yeah.
Jesus.
An hour and 5
This is
minutes.
gonna be a 2-hour podcast.
That's
We aren't
okay.
even to the. We're not even to the.
Yeah. We haven't even introduced the big characters. But as I was
We've
saying,
been talking about them.
yeah, as I've been saying, Marissa Tomei in No Way Home was really good because she had this scene, and then what I loved is that she was acting like a real aunt, and she was trying to like fight the goblin and trying to protect Peter and have
Yeah.
these maternal instincts, and that was just
Yeah.
so good. I love that they didn't like make her hide and like scream Peter no, like she was gonna try and fight him, like that was.
Sure.
I love that. I love that they did
Yeah.
that with her.
I agree.
True.
And then, obviously, the speech she gave him before she died.
First.
With great power becomes great responsibility.
Yeah. Good.
Marissa Tomei as Aunt May in this was really good compared to the other movies, I feel.
Yeah.
But yeah, any other thoughts about that or any of that? Anything to say about J. Jonah Jameson? He
Dude.
showed up.
F him.
Did I think I love the character, but I think this is the most I've ever I don't know, hated him as a they did a really good job of me he's just the worst.
Yeah.
Get out of here, bro.
Yeah.
He was a very hateable character in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so now we move to, I believe it goes to Peter watches the Daily Bugle ad.
He does, and that was a good. We talked about that enough, probably.
Yeah,
Great
we did talk about
cinematography.
that. Good cinematography. And then from there, we go to Ned's grandmother's. MJ wants to press the box. Ned's like, I'll just bring
Ned's
Peter
magic.
here. Yeah.
Dude, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Setting him up as a magic user, able to do special things. That's
Hobgoblin Ned?
That's pretty interesting.
Hobgoblin Ned? Isn't that his character in the comics? Hobgoblin?
He gets brainwashed into being Hobgoblin.
Okay.
But they can just make it not brainwashing.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they are going to bring the magic stuff back up.
I think it will.
For him.
Doctor Strange.
I hope they do.
Doctor Strange.
I know, me too. Dude, I know, right? I want him to. I want him to, he even had the cape for a second.
He did. He did. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about the introductions. Let's bring Peter here. We get the portal.
Yeah.
And then who's there?
Yeah.
Peter Parker.
Andrew Garfield, Peter Parker.
And
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I really liked how he was like, do I really have to prove that I'm Spider-Man? Like, that was really funny. The way that, Zendaya just throwing bread at him.
Yeah. Dude, he was great right off the bat.
He was.
He had his, signature little movements he does.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, one thing they did, so everyone knows it's Toby's a better Peter, Andrew's a better Spider-Man, Tom's the best of both. Andrew shows, I think they intentionally did this because of their self-aware and the symbolism. He shows up in his Peter costume, or his not Peter,
Spider-Man costume, yeah.
costume.
Oh, I get what you're saying. That's cool.
When he first looks over, the second he looks over and sees the portal open, you can instantly tell that was Andrew. Just by the way he just the body language. Yeah.
And then yeah, we get the
whole that was probably the loudest applause. Was Andrew's, but that was just because it showed the other Spider-Mans are here. I saw popcorn fly in the air. People were ah! That was people were literally going crazy.
I'm excited to see an interview with him finally, where he's I want him to say, no, I wasn't in that movie. That was photoshopped, and just fully commit to that.
Yeah, that'd be so funny. That'd be hilarious.
That'd be hilarious.
Fully commit for the rest of his life and just never acknowledge that it happened.
I was thinking about that. How sad it is that they weren't able to go to the red carpet event.
No.
Like they couldn't go to the premiere.
Yeah.
Big part of the movie.
Yeah, like they missed out on so much.
Mhm.
But I mean, obviously for the better. But
Yeah.
well, was it for the better though? Because we all knew they were going to be in the movies
Everyone
anyway.
knew. Everyone knew.
But I mean, it was still good though.
I'm sure in a couple weeks we get their character posters. They'll just
Yeah.
finally make it official.
Yeah.
Because I want to buy a poster that has all three of them on it.
Yeah.
And then
That'd be
I
cool.
might replace that with a Civil War poster. I might just have them both in here, but I'd have to do some real rearranging. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. But
And then you got Toby,
and then we got Toby.
your boy.
He steps on the portal. I'm just smiling the whole time.
Dude, he literally walked right back into character when he walked through that portal and was like, I just walked through that. It closed now, so I can't go back. Like immediately, it's like he's right back where he left off.
Mm-hmm. He was really
Oh,
good
really?
in this movie.
14 years ago, he was.
Were there any bad actors in this movie?
No.
I can't think of any.
There was like no. I did a
Everyone
bad job.
had really good performances.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
even Flash Gordon.
Yeah. Flash Thompson.
Oh yeah, Flash Gordon. Yeah, my bad. Flash Thompson. Yeah.
But how do you feel about their introduction to Abbas? What were your thoughts? What was going through your head?
It was just like, wow, man, this is actually happening.
This is
Did they do the Spider-Man pointy thing, or did they not? I can't remember.
They
Right.
did on the Statue of Liberty when they're talking about whose name, like which one's Spider-Man 1 and which one's Spider-Man 2.
Oh, okay.
And they're like it's Andrew and Tom are doing it.
I've seen the picture. It looks like they're all pointing, but
Yeah.
they didn't like directly do a scene.
Show it. Yeah.
Yeah, but they did.
It did, but they didn't.
What was going through your head, Jacob Pope?
I think the same. I think probably everybody would say that. Like when you first see that, you're going like, "Oh, it's actually happening." Like that's what you're
This is
thinking.
real.
Did y'all applaud? Did y'all personally applaud?
I'm just sitting there in shock. I didn't do
Yeah,
anything.
I didn't either.
Not
I
Yeah,
did
I
look
didn't
over
either.
at you, and you were like mouth agape, smiling. Like pure joy on Matthew's
Mhm.
face in that moment.
Pure bliss.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Toby. I'm seeing Andrew. And I wouldn't like Andrew. It's incredible. And then after we get they all talk scene. I like that they had the space for the applause. So
Yeah.
They
There's
did.
nobody talking for
Mhm.
like 10 seconds.
Mhm.
I like that
Yeah.
too.
Really good job, John Watts.
Yeah.
Really good job. Because they knew that was gonna happen, so they didn't have any dialogue there. So I'm glad we didn't miss anything. But then from there we go to Peter on the
School.
Peter sitting there sad on the school.
Well, they had the good moment of them immediately like saying that they're all the same. Like they're all Peter and they're all the
Mhm.
same. Like they're all gonna go somewhere. Like they're all gonna do that in that moment.
Mhm.
But Zendaya knows because he said that earlier in the movie of like, I just like being up here because I can get away. So then they go up there, they meet all for the first time.
Yeah. It was just good. I mean, Andrew talks about Gwen. Peter talks about Uncle Ben. He didn't mention Harry yet.
Yeah.
And then, it was just good.
And that was really good acting from Tom too.
Yes.
He's like, don't like he immediately starts. He's like, don't tell me how. Like you don't know how I feel. Yeah, like
They're you,
don't
bro.
tell me you know how I feel.
Very you.
Yeah, yeah, they know how you feel. I can relate.
How do you feel about this whole heartfelt scene, J-Bus?
It was great, dude. They had you get your throwbacks, and then you get like I don't know. It just I don't know. You get to get taken back to all the tough moments with Spider-Man, and they all get to relate to each other. Like they all have that same line, and it always means something to Spider-Man. It's so cool.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, from here we go to the lab, and then there's so many just good things in the lab. We got them talking about the web fluid here. Or
Yeah.
no, that's on the
Yeah,
tower.
yeah.
That's on the
Yeah,
tower.
they talk. They start it in the lab though.
Oh yeah, they did. They did. Yeah, they did.
They both just look at him though.
Mhm.
Then
It
and
was so good to see Toby, dude. It was so good to see Toby. I hope we
using
get
the
more.
beakers too. I mean, just like that looks like it's straight up like Spider-Man 1 again.
Mhm.
Like him just being in chemistry or whatever.
Mhm.
It helped show that they're all Peter.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
cause in the
all
next,
really smart.
Yeah.
and cause you see that like later on you're gonna see that they're all Spider-Man. But,
Mhm.
like right there, you're seeing they're all Peter.
Mhm. I love the joke about Harry that Toby tells Harry. It's like, yep.
That was amazing.
Oh, that was so funny, dude.
That
I
was the
forgot
funniest
about that.
part.
That was hilarious.
He turned into a supervillain when he died in my arms. It was really heartbreaking.
Tried to kill me. Yeah.
And he just says it in the most like normal way.
He
Yeah.
really
Nate's
did.
just like shocked. He's like, I mean, that
That's
was just
hilarious.
that was probably my favorite part of all that, and just seeing them all interact.
Yeah.
They had really good chemistry together.
He really did.
And they did.
It's kind of bizarre, but they really did.
It is, but I'm glad. And any other thoughts about that scene?
That's it.
Can I get more?
What?
Can I get more, please?
Yes, I want more
Yeah,
too.
honestly.
Did they forget about him?
I don't know how it works in our universes.
I don't know, dude.
I hope not. I hope not.
I hope not
Well,
either.
they had to have because he made sure like that's what solved the
Yeah.
universal problem. So like they had to have like everybody.
Did, just that Peter Parker, just Tom Holland's Peter Parker,
See,
or all of them?
that's my question. That's my question. So
It,
it's just like
it
Norman
has
not
to be
know. Yeah,
just Tom's Peter Parker
yeah, I'd
because
agree.
Yeah.
like you can't do like Doctor Strange
Like
can't
Toby
Peter Parker.
Maguire can't go back to his universe and
Yeah,
MJ not know who he
yeah,
is.
and
Yeah, dude, that'd be crazy.
yeah, it would.
Or that'd be
Oh,
awful.
that'd be such a good movie though.
Yeah. He has to
Yeah.
deal with that.
It's like I don't even know why this is happening because they forgot.
Yeah.
But then yeah,
That's true.
we move to the tower now, and then they're all talking. They're talking about the web fluid. Toby's like, "You're amazing, man." They all
Yeah,
laugh.
that was so funny. You're amazing. Really amazing.
Mhm.
That was so funny. Amazing Spider-Man.
Got any thoughts, Shabazz?
No, it was amazing. Like they said,
It wasn't.
it was.
I feel like we're talking about this the least, but it's just because like, what can you say? Because it's just so
Yeah.
good.
Well, their whole like the scene of them on the tower just talking about like all being Spider-Man and like
Yeah, you met my biggest foes.
yeah
Or you're talking about like all
and
trying to one up each other, seeing what they did. Yeah.
it'd be like I've been to space like you
What's
don't
an
know who the
Avenger?
event what's an
Yeah.
Avenger.
Toby getting mad. He was like, "How
Yeah,
does that happen?"
and they both look so happy. They're just so proud, but they're like, what is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
it's another one of those like very self-aware jokes too though about this
Mhm.
movie. because this movie is so they're very aware of what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then this is when they had the web fluid, where it's like
Mm-hmm.
Toby's like, "Are y'all making fun of me?" He's like, "No, we're not making fun of you. We're just curious."
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
they
so
think
funny.
it's
That's so
cool because
good.
it's a hassle to make it.
Exactly. And it like is they make fun of like the forever like internet joke about those movies of like, does it only come out of your wrists? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so that's hilarious, dude.
And then the villains start showing up, and we get really good fight scenes. They don't know how to work together, and they have the Peter 1, 2, 3 scene. You know, that was
Yeah,
good teamwork. And then we have the really good shot of all three of them swinging together. And
Dude, oh my gosh,
that's what I'm just
that was that was the scene I almost applaud for,
Mm-hmm.
when they're all swinging and they all land at the same time. That was beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like John Watts is he's just elevated his directing. There's nothing to that level in Homecoming.
Yeah.
Homecoming was just pure plot that made it so good. Unless I'm missing something like that, I don't think there was.
No. This solved your complaint about the other movies and not having web slinging. There's so much web
Yeah,
slinging in this movie.
yeah, yeah. There's no web swinging in there. And then they put him in New York, so they're just gonna be like they're doing a good job. They're doing a good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
And then in Far From Home, they had the Mysterio scenes. That was really good directing, but that was kind of it for that movie.
Yeah.
Was just those Mysterio scenes. But this movie just has so many good shots.
True. I agree.
And then yeah, we have all the fights. And let's just talk about the fight scenes. How do we feel about the fight scenes?
Dude, that was my favorite part of the movie, was that last fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
But I like how Doc Ock was like good still, because like
It
Electro
was.
like shocked him or whatever. He was
They
still good.
they all had legitimate arcs.
Yeah.
So there's like three groups. There's the Spider-Man trying to get the box so they can cure them all. There's them trying to destroy the box so they don't die, and there's Sandman trying to actually hit the box so he can go home.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I like that they all have moments. So, I mean, the talk with Toby's Peter, and then Doc Ock was. I mean, that was really good. I wish they had so Doc Ock asked how you doing these days, and then Toby was like, I'm trying to do better. I wish you would have said. I wish they would have said something about brilliant but lazy. I wish they would like made a joke about that, like, being less lazy or something. But that's a minor complaint, because that would have just been good fan service. But that talk was really good. The chemistry's there.
Well, it was like it was like a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this was Spider-Man 4, 3, and 3, like at the same time. Like, just so that makes sense. Like, it was they did. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Like a
wrapped up all three.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
I only wish Toby did not get a scene with Willem Dafoe. I wish so badly that they had.
Yeah, it
spoken
really
together.
didn't.
No, they didn't
Yeah.
speak. Like they fought or they like he got stabbed by Willem Dafoe, but they did not speak to each other.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
I wish they would have spoken to each other, because I mean, Spider-Man 1, the famous rooftop scene. Me and you can rule the city. I mean, the death. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I just wish they'd spoken. That's like the only emotional moment missing. I mean, Andrew and Max, Jamie Foxx, got the like. He's like,
You're always cool.
yeah, you were always cool. You're not a loser.
Yeah.
Kind of bringing over that stuff from Amazing Spider-Man 2. So they got that emotional moment. Andrew got the really big moment of saving MJ.
Yeah, dude, that was so good.
Yeah.
Was really good.
And that was such good acting by Andrew too.
Mhm.
That like
It really
cry.
was.
That was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the closest I was to crying, to be honest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was good. Oh, the scene, the comedic value of Ned and Zendaya trying to get, or I keep calling her Zendaya, but MJ trying to get the portal to close was really funny.
Mm-hmm. And then
Yeah.
Lizard does something and chases him through the
Yeah,
school.
yeah, that's the only thing Lizard did the whole time.
He's always in a school.
Yeah,
But yeah, and then Toby and Sandman talked for a bit. That was good.
yeah, yeah, that was good.
Mhm.
Of like, go see your family or whatever. Just stay here. Yeah,
And then everyone gets cured because Ock helps cure Electro. Toby
yep,
Toby almost dies, but he cures Sandman.
yeah.
Lizard gets cured. I don't think anyone did anyone talk to him.
No,
Did he have him?
not
No, he
really.
was just like, oh shit.
I didn't realize how sidelined he was till we talk about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, he really was.
Good job, Lizard. You got cured.
yeah, yeah. Basically,
I wish
very
Daredevil could
healed.
do us more justice. He's a good villain.
Well,
Not
at
that
Kirk Connors.
Not
Yeah,
that
exactly, exactly.
And then and then the main villain shows up.
The main, our boy,
Yeah.
dude. I could probably talk for like 30 minutes about like just that fight scene.
Give it to me.
Dude, just the way that they set it up, because you earlier when Andrew's like, I stopped holding back my punches, like we already talked about that, but
Mm-hmm.
like you could tell like the acting in that scene of Tom and like the choreography of that fight, of like the way like, they're just like, what is, like, Tom probably gets hit like twice, 2 or 3 times. Like Green Goblin does a little bit to him, and then it's like, this is my payback. You beat me, you broke my ribs, you killed my aunt. Now I'm just gonna beat the shit out of you. Like, in like it was amazing. Like that fight scene was so good. It's what every time since after the movie, when I've thought about the movie, I've thought about that fight scene. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. He's just going all in.
Yeah. And then when he grabs the glider and he's about to freaking hit him with it, and then Toby and Andrew nod, and they're like, "We got to stop it."
Mm-hmm. And then Toby's the one to stop it.
And then
Yeah.
I know, and then
And
Toby stops it.
the acting is so good. He tells him no, but you can tell he's not disappointed. You can tell he's not upset. He doesn't
Yeah,
speak. He just
yeah,
says, "I understand, but this isn't you." But he says it
yeah,
with his
Mhm.
eyes.
yeah.
And
We've done this. We've regretted this. Like, we're stopping this. Like, this isn't. Yeah,
this isn't the road you want to go down, Peter.
exactly. You're gonna regret this.
And it's I don't think he's been in anything in such a long time. It's crazy that he can like say that with his body language when
Yeah,
he hasn't
Yeah.
it's
done
good
it.
acting.
He's a really good actor, just to be
Yeah,
able to do that.
it's true.
Give me your thoughts, Jay Bass, on this whole scene.
Uh, I mean, I don't know how much I can add to that, but I mean, it was great, dude. Just it was very emotional. I like that. I know Toby didn't really speak to the Green Goblin, but I think that was a really nice moment because that was his villain, and
Yeah.
he was like, don't do it, because he had fought him, and I mean, he didn't do nothing that. I mean, he treated Tom worse than he did Toby,
I
but still, it was real nice.
yeah. I mean he could have. It's because Toby stopped him, but he could have
Hmm.
killed the bus full of the kids, and he
He
could
could have, yeah.
he could have killed Mary
He
Jane, but Toby saved both
yeah.
of them.
He did put Aunt May in the hospital.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he broke into the house.
Yeah.
But he went a little further with Aunt May in this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was like,
I'm gonna kill you now.
yeah,
Yeah.
for real. So Toby stops him. He gets stabbed.
You want to talk about an audible gasp?
Dude, I heard that was a nightmare.
You looked so sad. You were like, talk about acting with your eyes. That wasn't acting. That was pure emotion. You could tell that when that happened, Matthew was thinking, "This is how they're gonna ruin this movie for me if Toby
I
dies
was
right now."
Yeah.
about to be so mad.
I
I
know
was
you
about
were.
to be so mad because I remember there were rumors that they were gonna kill Toby and they were gonna introduce Miles in Toby's universe, and I was so mad, but they didn't do it. They
It
didn't do
didn't
Thank
do
it.
it.
God.
And that was a funny moment too. Have you ever been stabbed before? Yes. Okay,
Mhm.
good. That was great.
Mhm. And it just wouldn't have been right because killing him there, well, he was good in the movie, but that would have been like purely killing him for nostalgia, just because everyone
Yeah,
cared
it
about
would
him
have been.
before.
Yeah, that. Yeah, it
And
wouldn't.
and I
It
think
wouldn't
that
be.
would have cheapened the movie had
It
there
would
been
have.
Yeah.
even aside from like me wanting him to live because I love Toby.
Yeah.
I think that would
Well, it
have
would have been like we've given you like 3 emotional moments already. We're about to give you another emotional moment, but we're gonna set up that emotional moment by killing
yeah,
Toby Maguire
yeah,
for like
There
practically
would have
no
been no
reason.
reason for that, yeah.
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 There's no reason for him to die. You know, I want him to return, and we'll talk about that
Yeah.
a little bit.
That just hurts the character, you know? That's like a lovable character. That's like some like Han Solo and freaking Star Wars shit, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who actually ended up dying, which is
Yes.
Hell.
But then from there we get the real. I mean, they cure Goblin, and then it's like,
What did I do? That was a good like him
mm-hmm,
just like sitting there
Defoe's
reflecting.
acting.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Doctor Strange showing up in that fight scene and all that happening, but
Mm-hmm.
we're about to get to that. But
We're about to get to that. We're about to get to that. And then yeah, Defoe, incredible acting, and then Tom's Peter realizes what he has to do. Excuse me.
yep,
He tells Doctor Strange, and
we gotta
then
fix this universe. Everybody's coming through.
mm-hmm, you could see silhouettes. I read you could see like Black Cat. You could see like Rhino.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I seen Rhino. Rhino's pretty obvious.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I saw that people say that you saw Scorpion. I didn't see that part, but I've seen where people
I'm
say.
excited for this to release on Blu-ray, so we can get like real HD shots and just pick apart
Yeah,
every.
yeah. I was really hoping you were gonna see the what if guy. I was really hoping you'd see that.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
the Watcher. I was hoping you'd see the Watcher
Oh, that would
finally.
have
Hmm.
been so cool.
Yeah,
You want to?
yeah.
That would have been so cool. Why didn't they do that?
That you might be able to. You might be able to with those with like once they break it down frame by
Mm-hmm.
frame. You probably
I
they might
wanted that too, dude.
have just not made it super obvious.
Yeah, and then we get the final kiss with MJ.
Dude, the final dap up between him and Ned, then the
Mm-hmm.
final kiss. Dude, that was so emotional. That I almost cried then, cause like they did a really good job of like making you feel like what they're feeling of
Mm-hmm.
like I'm never like you can't even comprehend that of like not being able to remember somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In like I don't know about y'all, I instantly thought about that in the movie of like I cannot comprehend what it'd be like to like look at one of y'all and like not remember anything about you.
Yeah.
Like that just like I
Hmm.
instantly thought about it too hard and got like
Sad.
brain effed.
Yeah. What if you couldn't see Mario ever again? We just forget about all the basketball, everything.
It's a
Exactly.
me, Matthew. It's a me.
But they did so. I mean, they did a really good job with Zendaya's Mary Jane or
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Michelle Jones, because I did not like her in Homecoming. I was like, okay, she's fine, and Far From Home. And in this movie, I was cheering for it. I'm like, okay, I respect
Yeah.
it. Let's go. I mean, they
Yep.
did a really good job making me like her.
Yep.
And then,
And
yeah.
then after that, we go back to Tom zooms away,
Mm-hmm.
which I instantly thought, I wonder what they think is going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because Tom's gone, they
Yeah.
forget that Peter Parker exists.
Mm-hmm.
They
They're
know
on the
Spider-Man exists
they're on the
though, so they're
Statue of
just like,
Liberty.
so they're just sitting here like on the Statue of Liberty, like, oh yeah, we are helping out Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's Doctor Strange think?
Yeah, exactly. Like what? Like I was helping out Spider-Man. Like that's what they're all thinking. As I was helping, like
Yeah. Oh yeah. They remember him. Yeah.
they remember Spider-Man. They don't remember Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Let me let this cat out. She's going crazy. Real
Just
quick.
don't think about it too hard. Is what Marvel's gonna
Yeah.
say. Do you
That's
have any
fair. Yeah.
any extra thoughts on the whole like before the ending scene where everyone forgets you, best?
No, not really.
Not really. Okay, so from there we move to uh the grave scene with Happy, and he's standing at the
Yeah.
grave, and then Happy doesn't know who he is, and he's like, "How'd you know her?" And then he's like, "From through Spider-Man." And he's like, "Me too. Don't think about it
Yeah.
too hard." And
Yep.
then he he goes to the place where MJ works, and he chooses to, you know, be
He just a guy.
yeah.
Keep her safe. Don't.
I,
Yeah.
I'm trying to find keep her safe. I'm trying to find the word for that. I couldn't. Selfless.
I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too. I do too. I and then he gets his own apartment in the city, and then we see the new suit, which is
Yes.
the most comic accurate suit. Is such a bright blue, such a nice red. He makes his
Yep.
own suit. No
Beautiful.
Stark Tech. I know that's
Yep.
gonna make so many what's it called? Iron Lab people happy.
Yep.
Yeah. That blue is so beautiful. Oh my
It
god.
was.
It was. I'm so excited to see more. And then he's actually in New York now, and so it's a nice
Yes.
area.
Yeah.
Oof. So I mean, what's everyone's thoughts on him not telling him the new suit? I mean, just
I
him
think it was
going to the
smart
grave.
for multiple reasons. Because now it there's gonna be room now to set up Gwen and Harry
Mm-hmm.
in Tom's universe.
Yeah.
And then it's also like it's also gonna be cool because like they already teased it with MJ. She already said like I'm just gonna figure it out again. Like, cause she looked at Tom like as he was leaving, like how do I know this guy kind
Mm-hmm.
of deal. So that's gonna be so good.
So, okay, do you think they, this is what you think, do you think they do Gwen or do you think they do Black Cat or something? Or do you think they save Gwen for Miles like they did in Miles Spider-Verse? What do you think they do?
What I think they do?
Yeah, what do you
We'll,
think? What are y'all thinking?
we're gonna say that. We're gonna say that. We have a big prompt for that.
Okay,
Okay.
so we're gonna, am I getting ahead?
Pure, yeah, you're getting ahead. Just pure thoughts on the ending right now.
Your thoughts on the ending right now? It was good. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to the future. He's got a new suit.
Mm-hmm.
He's in New York. He's reading. He's listening to police
Yeah, I mean,
radio.
talk about being Toby.
He's studying for the GED. He's ready to go.
It's so sad he has to do a GED
Yeah.
because he's so smart.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he'll pass.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I mean, pure thoughts on the NJ Bass.
it was great. Suit's beautiful. And if that trilogy was Spider-Man 1, then I'm looking forward to Spider-Man 2 Part 1.
Yeah. All right. So, uh,
And
so
Spider-Man 4: A New Home.
yeah.
There you go.
So, before we move into the future, let's talk about or let's finish our thoughts on the movie. What do you think the movie did wrong? Do we have any criticisms? Did we haven't spoken of?
No, not that. I mean, my only like wrong was the first. It wasn't even wrong. It was a 9.5. Is it just like the setup felt a little like slow and like, oh wow, this guy's stupid, but also like relatable for a high schooler, like you know what I mean?
Yeah. What about you, Jabaz?
I really like it. I don't the things that are wrong with it. I don't know. They're forgivable things. Like
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know.
absolutely.
Yeah. It's like I mean, you could say it's a little hand wavy or a little like don't think about it. Come on, let's go, move on.
Hmm.
But I don't know. It's great.
Yeah. I mean,
It's forgivable.
the things that I think it did wrong, we got like Sandman not ever being. It's just pure sand. I think that was weird. We got the continuity error. We got. I wish Toby and Goblin talked, and then I wish Ben had a grave, because it doesn't make any sense to me why Ben did not
Did
have a
they
grave.
ever talk about him in the trilogy?
He had the suitcase, and then
Yeah, that was about it.
yeah, he had the suitcase, and then there was a line in Homecoming where he's like, "No, I can't do this to May. She's been through so much recently these past couple months," and then that was referring to Ben.
Uh,
But he didn't even have a.
okay.
They didn't really talk about him, and it's so weird because they're doing the prequel series, which is clearly gonna have him in it. Why did
Right.
I mean? Just there should have been a grave there, but that, like I said, that's just minor things. I rate the movie a 10 out of 10. Final ratings for everyone.
10/10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Or should I give one of my signature ratings? It was a 17.8 out of 17.8.
Mad respect to that, bro. Mad respect to that. And then now we're gonna move on. If you were in charge of Spider-Man, what would you do for the future?
Dude, I don't even know what I'd do for the future because I don't know enough about how I don't. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm that creative, but
You know if they set up the black suit,
yeah.
so you don't know what to do.
Um, I don't know what I would do. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do because
What do
there's
you
so
think
many
they're gonna do?
possibilities.
What do you
Dude,
think they're gonna do?
I really do think they're gonna set up a. He's probably gonna like go to college and meet Gwen and Harry, and then they're gonna have like another like him being friends with other people and him like experiencing that again, and then the effects of this movie of like him not being able to let people too close, and then like how MJ and Ned come back into that will be really fun and like exciting. Yeah.
All right, Jabas. If you were put in charge of it, what would you do? How would you continue the story from here?
Dude, I mean, we gotta have a new Green Goblin. He's gotta get his own, man. He's gotta meet Harry somehow. We gotta have that. That's gotta be there. It's gotta be. And I kind of want him. I kind of want him to like. I don't know what he's gonna do. I wonder if they're gonna have him like just just watch MJ from afar because he's gonna miss her. I don't know if like I feel like if he like got with somebody else, like if they introduced like I don't know Black Cat or Gwen Stacy, I feel like he'd feel so bad if he was like he like betrayed her or something. I don't know, but I think it'd be really cool if they introduced like another love interest or something for a new trilogy, dude. That'd be crazy, dude. Um, I mean, and if they did do like I don't know like Black Cat or something, because that's a big love interest for him, isn't she? Or
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
like I
Felicia.
mean, and that's when he doesn't have to worry about like safety things, to keep her safe, you know,
Yeah. I mean,
like
she's kind of like Catwoman, but not Catwoman.
right, right. See, dude,
Felicia
they could
can
do
handle.
that. They could do,
Felicia can handle herself.
yeah, dude. I don't know. Are they gonna have their own Doc Ock, and then, or are they gonna like just skip over that since they
I
already
don't
did
think.
that one?
I don't think they'll do Otto again.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't kind of don't think so either. Dude. I mean, there's plenty of Spider
Hmm.
and this, and I'm glad. I mean, this wasn't really a Sinister Six, which I'm kind of glad because they wouldn't have time anyway to do it like full on,
Yeah.
because like
I think they'll do Sinister later on.
They gotta, dude. They gotta. I wonder if that's gonna be in Spider-Man 2 Part 3 or Spider-Man 3 Part 1 or
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3 Part 1. Sinister 6.
yeah.
I mean, we
I
got
don't know.
Mysterio, Vulture, whoever they set up next.
Yeah. Hype though. I don't know.
So you don't know what you do. What do you think they'll do?
What do I think they'll do?
Kind of same question. You don't have to answer if you want to.
I'm gonna say they set him up with he's gonna be working in the Daily Bugle next movie. He's not gonna be in like I don't know if he'll be in the scientist job. I don't know. They're gonna give him like dude, I don't know. I don't know even who the main bad guy would be. Would it be crazy? What are they gonna do? They're gonna it's probably not gonna be Kingpin.
I mean, he's really street level now. They can do that.
Dude, they could do that. They really could. Oh man, I don't want him. The
Kingpin's
Kingpin's so cool.
he's a really big Spider-Man villain.
Yeah, he is, dude. That's why I don't want him to like. I want him to fight Spider-Man. I don't want him to fight anybody else. Like, I don't know anything about Echo. Are they gonna use him as Echo? Is he gonna be the
He's
main
probably
bad?
gonna be an Echo. I think he'll be in multiple stuff though. I mean,
Okay, good.
you can't bring him back and then use him in Echo and then not see him again. No, I want
Yeah.
him
So
to
this
be
is
Spider-Man.
so okay. Marvel's very different. So like, they got like these super like we got like two different like level tiers, like power level tiers. Like, are they gonna have like a street level threat, like kind of like group threat? Are they gonna have like and then like a cosmic level threat? You know, because you can't have. Because good lord, Daredevil's not gonna be able to fight Galactus. You know. So are they gonna have like team ups where like kind of like the Defenders maybe, or like they take on like somebody crazy, strong, maybe like I don't know, I don't know.
So,
That's why I can't remember people. I'm not into it as deep as they are.
do you know what I think, or do you want me to say what I think they'll end up doing?
Yes.
I think they're gonna have a bunch of different teams. So they're gonna have West Coast Avengers. I think Kate's gonna take control of that, Kate and Clint, and then I
Mhm.
think they'll end up having, or not West Coast, Young Avengers. I think Kate's gonna be a part of
Mm.
that. They're gonna have the main Avengers, which is like bigger threats, and then I think they're going to have the Dark Avengers whenever that gets introduced. What I think is gonna
Mm.
happen, I remember the rumors before. I remember we talked about this before Defoe was even in this movie. Was they were gonna do the Norman, like Iron Patriot Norman, and they were gonna have
Yeah, I
him
remember you talking about
ready
that.
before he turns into Green Goblin, and I think that changed whenever they realized they could do the multiverse stuff. So I think in the next movie, Peter's gonna go searching for Norman, and since Oscorp doesn't exist, I think he's gonna be kind of like a politician slash war hero, kind of how he is in Spider-Man PS4, and he's gonna end up becoming Iron Patriot, and he's gonna be the leader of Dark Avengers, and that's how they get
Mm.
him. And then like Peter's gonna like know he's bad, and he's gonna keep investigating him, and then I think he'll end up turning him into Green Goblin, and then it'll be like you created me because you wanted me to be this. I think it'll end up being that kind of thing.
Mm.
You
And
think they're gonna do that one comic book you showed me where he's like freaking full on, like huge, like
I
actually
The
green?
Ultimate Spider-Man Green Goblin.
yeah, I don't know what they'll do. I don't know if they'll do Ultimate Green Goblin or
Not the
616.
Green Elf.
Yeah,
that
yeah. I don't know if they'll do
was hilarious.
Elf or Hulk Goblin.
Monster. Yeah.
It's just whatever Feige prefers. I would assume that they would do an elf kind of goblin if I were to pick, because that's the more popular Green Goblin. And then I don't think they're gonna do Gwen, and I hope they don't do Gwen because Emma Stone, she was already a perfect Gwen. So
Yeah,
I mean we don't need to retread that ground. I think they should do Black Cat because she
dude, they should.
like her character Felicia Hardy was in Amazing Spider-Man 2, and she worked for Oscorp, but those movies ended, and she never had a chance to actually boot Black Cat. And I think it could be a whole thing where Peter he ends up needing a roommate, he meets Harry. He's like, Harry Osborn? I know that name. And then like he becomes friend with Harry. Harry eventually turns bad, and then Peter's like, oh no, and then he feels real betrayed, and I think he should meet Felicia, and then Felicia is obviously like not very honest, like Mary Jane or
Mhm.
MJ, and I think it should be the kind of thing where Peter just feels so alone, and then everything at the end of the trilogy, I don't know what the overarching plot is, but they should have an overarching plot where at the end of the trilogy, there's a big bad. Harry's done something. Norman's doing something, and then Black Cat has like hurt him, and he needs to go to his real friends, and so he needs to find Ned, and he needs to find MJ, and I think this is the point where they mate Zendaya. They should turn her into more comic Mary Jane. She should have the red hair, like she's wore it before, and then she should, after MIT, be kind of going into acting. That's what she's found, and she's like a lot different than he left her, but he still like finds a way to. They love each other,
Yeah.
and I think that's.
You think that would be an overarching for the trilogy, or do you think that they would like do that after like the 1 or the 2?
I think they would do that in the third one, where he goes back to him. Is what I would
Okay.
do, and then they have the kind of overarching. I don't think they should really be in the first or second one.
Yeah.
Other than like
I don't know.
small
Zendaya is a pretty
cameos.
big selling point for those
She
movies.
she is, but I mean, you know, you can get a big actor for Black Cat and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
There you go.
Because I mean, the way to make someone miss something is to not give it to them.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I mean, if you talk about Zendaya's coming back for something, that makes
Yeah.
like that's pretty cool.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I think they're gonna do the Venom thing. Obviously, they heavily tease that. I don't know how they're gonna do that, but I hope he like turns him mean, and like that adds to it. And Peter's just going through a really dark period in his life, so like I think the next trilogy should kind of be the opposite of the Home trilogy, because the Homecoming trilogy started with the first one's really lighthearted. Like Homecoming is pretty just jokey, lighthearted. Far
Yeah.
From Home, a little more serious, still lighthearted. No Way Home gets pretty dark, and it has a much more serious tone. I think the next trilogy should start Peter's all alone. That's pretty relatable.
Yeah.
Like make him really relatable, make it pretty, and then have the tone go from the opposite through the trilogy. Have it go from serious to
Not as serious.
not as serious, and he's like, because right now he's closed himself off from the world, and then he's like not accepting anyone, and have him like slowly realize through the trilogy he needs to accept people.
Yeah. Find himself again.
Yes, find himself again, and realize it's okay to get close with people again.
Sure. Yeah.
Especially the right people after whatever happens with Harry and whatever happens with MJ, or not MJ, Black Cat.
Black Cat. Yeah.
And especially because they're going to do the black suit, so that's going to put him in a really dark place in his life.
Sure. Yeah. Because they're definitely doing. Yeah. They're definitely doing.
Yes.
Symbiote.
They set that up on purpose.
Yeah.
As for the villains, I think they want J.K. Simmons to come back. I mean, you could do something like the 90s animated series. You could, like, make him make Scorpion, because he was in Homecoming, Scorpion was.
Yeah.
And they teased him in the post-credit scene, and he's just hasn't done anything since. I think you should start setting him up. That way we can get a Sinister Six movie.
Yeah.
And then I think Spider-Man should also be crossing over. I think we should get a Craven movie, like Craven versus Spider-Man, and that doesn't have to be part of the main trilogy because Sony's gonna want that. And then I think I also want him to cross over into Daredevil and do stuff with Daredevil, and I want him to face Kingpin.
Yeah. Possibilities are endless.
The possibilities are endless.
And especially because Tom's going to be in the bigger picture stuff, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. Like, there's gonna be throughout the trilogy. There's gonna be probably 2 Avengers movies,
Mhm.
and he'll be in at least one of them. Like, assuming there's multiple Avengers now, he'll be in the main Avengers.
I think they're gonna do multiple Avengers. I think one of
Yeah.
them might even be like. It's kind of crazy that Secret Invasion is a Disney Plus show. That's a really big thing. Like
Yeah.
Young Avengers could totally be a Disney Plus show.
Yeah.
And like they just need to work it out with Sony to where he's allowed to be in the later episodes.
Yeah.
However they do that. And yeah, the possibilities are endless. I want Black Cat, and I want him to do Harry, and they need to do a Norman or
Yeah.
MCU Norman.
I agree.
But yeah, any other final thoughts on where we would take it in the future?
No, I mean, I don't know where I would take it. I'm just excited to see what they could do, because they can do anything. Because it's a fresh start. It was said about 500 times. It's a fresh start.
I don't. So a lot of people are talking about them like doing Silvermane, like doing Tombstone. I don't want them to do that. If you're gonna do a mob boss, just do Kingpin,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. You already have him. You can set him up. You can
Yes,
set him up getting
he's already
powerful
set.
during the blip period.
Yes, he got powerful during the blip period. That's like
Yeah.
that. You got it. That's it. Or you can like
Yeah.
fully reboot it. Excuse me. But like either way, you have him. Make him go against Spider-Man. And
Yeah.
I know they want to do the whole Shang-Chi meets him one day. I don't know if that's gonna fit in this trilogy. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know how that happens because I know Simu, I think that's how you say his name, really wanted to do the Shang-Chi and the Spider-Man storyline where he like teaches Spider-Man after the mental block. I don't know if they should do that in this trilogy. I think
Yeah.
they should do the overarching because they're gonna do the black suit. I like what I pitched.
Yeah.
But yeah, final thoughts, Shagabas?
I'm looking forward to the future, man. I think this. I'm so glad that this one was amazing. I
It
I
was.
really wanted and needed it to be. It was great.
I don't know if it's gonna be because I said this after Endgame, but it's gonna be a long time till I'm as excited for something like this. Like Doctor Strange, I'm excited for it. It's not S plus plus tier. Like
Right.
I mean, I don't even everyone's talking about Avengers versus X Men one day. I mean that's like that'd be S tier. That's not S plus plus.
Right.
So I have one more thing to talk about. I want Toby and Andrew to come back. I think Andrew's going
Please.
to come back, and I think Toby's going to come back because they had the quote about how they wanted Kirsten Dunst and they wanted Emma Stone in this movie, but they had COVID restrictions. But they plan to use them for future projects. What is
Yeah.
that future project to where Kirsten Dunst come back?
Yeah.
Make a Spider-Man
True.
4.
Yeah. It might.
You got Toby to sign. Make him come back. I know Andrew's more than willing to come back. I think we'll see Andrew again.
Yeah.
Whether it be they come back in Secret Wars. I want a Spider-Man 4. I would like an Amazing Spider-Man 3, as long as it's got good writers. But just give it to me. I want to see him again. They were really good.
Bring him.
No reason. I mean, you brought him back. There's no reason we can't have 3. People are still gonna see it. People love Spider-Man.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, any other thoughts? Anyone?
I'm excited for the future. It's as bright as the sun.
Yeah.
Excited.
Yeah. Is that it for you, Jabas?
Yeah, pretty much, man.
Yeah. I mean, we're hitting the 2-hour mark right now. So
All right.
that's a
Well,
pretty good episode.
pretty good first podcast. 2 hours long.
Yeah, 2 hours long.
Cut out the part where I was
We'll
talking to
cut
my
out
little
like 5
sister.
minutes, so about an
Yeah.
hour 55.
Yeah.
But then yeah.
Let's go.
See y'all later. Bye.
See ya.